It started with a podcast. The host was discussing the power of saying yes to everything for a day, an experiment to step outside one's comfort zone and embrace life. As I sat sipping my morning coffee, something inside me whispered, "Do it." I wasn't sure if it was bravery or madness, but I declared to myself, "Today, I'll say yes to everything." The rule was simple: no matter what comes, I say yes. Barely an hour later, my neighbor knocked. "Could you help me move my couch upstairs?" Normally, I would have had a polite excuse ready. But today, I smiled and said, "Yes, of course." As we wrestled the heavy beast up the narrow stairs, I could feel my muscles burning. What have I signed up for? I thought. Returning home sweaty and sore, my phone buzzed. An old college friend invited me for breakfast across town. "You can say no if you're busy," she added. "Yes," I replied immediately. The pancakes were heavenly, but even better was reconnecting after years apart. Saying yes had already brought an unexpected gift. As we finished, she smiled mischievously. "Hey, I'm attending a pottery class today. Want to join?" Without hesitation, I said yes. Hours later, my hands were covered in clay, my first ever vase lopsided and oddly charming. I felt like a kid again, free, playful, unjudged. On my way home, I bumped into a street fundraiser. "Would you consider donating today?" the young woman asked. Normally, I'd keep walking. But I paused, reached into my wallet, and said, "Yes." The gratitude in her eyes reminded me of the privilege I often overlook. Just as I got home, my phone rang. It was my manager. "Can you cover for James this afternoon? He's sick." Exhaustion tugged at me, but my rule was clear. "Yes, I can." I headed to the office, realizing how much my colleagues rely on each other in tough times. At work, I was thrown into a client meeting. "Do you have experience with these types of projects?" the client asked. I took a deep breath. "Yes, and I'm confident we can deliver excellent results." I didn't lie, I simply trusted my ability to learn and adapt. My boss pulled me aside afterwards. "Would you lead the project team for this account?" I gulped. Leadership had always intimidated me. But my answer was steady, yes. I was suddenly steering a ship I never thought I'd be qualified to captain. After work, a junior colleague approached. "Could we grab coffee? I need some career advice." I was tired, but said yes. As we talked, I realized how much wisdom I had gathered over the years. Giving advice felt good and, strangely, healing. At the cafe, my friend texted, "Gym in 30 minutes." My muscles screamed no, but I typed, "Yes." At the gym, my personal trainer grinned, "Let's try a new personal record today." I nodded. Yes. With shaking arms, I lifted more than I ever had before. While leaving, a coworker messaged, "We're having dinner downtown. Join us." Sore, tired, but curious, I replied, "Yes." Over dinner, I learned personal stories that deepened my bond with colleagues, stories of hardship, resilience, and laughter. Mid-meal, another friend mentioned a late-night volunteer shift at a homeless shelter. "We're short on hands. Interested?" Without thinking, I said yes. That night, handing out blankets, I saw the faces behind the statistics, lives full of struggle and dignity. Driving home at midnight, I finally faced the weight of the day. Physically drained but emotionally full, I whispered to myself, yes was harder than I thought. But the richness of the day humbled me. I had touched so many lives and been touched by them. At home, my phone buzzed again, my brother, whom I rarely spoke to. "Can we talk?" "Yes." Hours passed as we poured our hearts out, healing old wounds. A single yes reopened the door to a relationship I'd nearly lost. At 3 a.m., a friend texted, "Want to hike and watch the sunrise?" My body protested. But I grinned and typed, "Yes." The climb was brutal, but as the sun peeked over the horizon, I felt a peace I hadn't known in years. Later that morning, my boss called. "We've decided to officially promote you to team lead." I smiled, my heart racing. "Yes, thank you." The opportunities one had embraced yesterday had revealed skills even I hadn't known I possessed. An email popped up. Local radio wanted to interview me about community volunteering. "Are you available today?" Without hesitation, I said yes. On air, I shared my experiences, hoping to inspire others. I spoke honestly, not as an expert, but as someone still learning. After the broadcast, a nonprofit leader called. "Would you consider mentoring some of our youth?" "Yes," I said warmly. It wasn't expertise that qualified me, it was my willingness to walk alongside others on their journeys. At last, home again, I sat on my porch, watching stars blink into life. My phone was silent. No more requests, no more invitations. I breathed deeply, grateful for every yes, every risk, every surprise. I had lived more in 24 hours than in some entire months. The lesson learned, that day taught me that yes is not about recklessness, but about openness to people, to growth, to discomfort, and to wonder. Life rewards courage. Every yes is a doorway. Sometimes, all you need is the bravery to step through.